Hello guys, it's Julian. Here we are like on the 15th of April for some kind of like a market update on the crypto market. So let's start with like DXY, which is like some kind of like an index who shows the strength of the dollar. So as you can see, we have like in daily a super bullish pattern. You know, we have like higher highs since like now a few months. And so dollar is like super bullish, which is like of course not good for Bitcoin and for like all kind of like risky assets. So we have a super like bullish trend on dollar, and that would be like super nice to see some kind of like uh, mean reversion of some kind of like slowdown in like the strength for the dollar in order to see like risky assets to quite like balance and like be like a bit more bullish. So now on Nasdaq, to be honest, the graph looks like way more like a distribution graph than something quite bullish or like some kind like of like an accumulation stuff. So this is why like you still have to wait on Nasdaq. And it's a shame because like since like I would say like 2 or 3 weeks now, every big moves on Nasdaq are super correlated with like Bitcoin, and so or the opposite. I mean, like Bitcoin is super correlated to really Nasdaq. Every time we have like some kind of a big move on Nasdaq, Bitcoin is following, which is like quite like a shame because we don't have like some kind of like an edge by playing Bitcoin and Nasdaq. You see what I mean? So at the end of the day, the idea is like to be well diversified and to have like Bitcoin moving by itself, which is not the case. So to talk a bit about Bitcoin a bit more closely is that a lot of people are asking like for like some kind of like a demand zone close to like 38, $39,000. I do not really believe in this zone, just because like if you look at the bear trend we had since like $48,000, which were quite easy to identify, we don't see much buyers really stepping in the market to quite change the trend of the market. If you look at futures, the funding and so on, and like open interest, and so it's not like super like kind of like bullish for Bitcoin. So I think if you want to play some kind of like a bounce over there, or like a bounce like in 12 hours or so, be careful. Do not use leverage because I do think that it will be like more like a spot driven trade. So don't use leverage for this kind of like trade. This is why like for me, on a daily basis, I'm way more like towards waiting a price of like first I was waiting more like a price around like $38,000, but looking how weak is Bitcoin, I think I would wait just to see like how it reacts under like $39,000, and I would definitely more wait for a $36,000 bid, which is like some kind of like correction of like 10% more, which is like quite easily doable for Bitcoin. So I would just wait. I'm super like trying to play super safe regarding like crypto markets because like they are super weak. And regarding like the macro kind of like trend, I don't see any point in shorting Bitcoin, honestly. So even though we had like good entries, I think way easier to identify than other altcoins, I would definitely not short Bitcoin. Just wait and just try to see like how Bitcoin is moving like and stay updated. For Ethereum, I think it's super difficult to enter Ethereum when like Bitcoin hasn't like really end like kind of a easy move. So sometimes when I want to enter on Ethereum, because I'm way more like looking at Ethereum than Bitcoin in terms of like accumulation and so, because I'm way more bullish on Ethereum, is that when I think like we have like a decent entry point on a daily basis on Bitcoin, then I look at Ethereum and I try to get like some kind of like an entry point. So I'm still waiting like $2,500 for Ethereum. Regarding Cosmos, it's a long time I want to enter into Cosmos and identify like this kind of like a big range in a daily time frame between like $40 and like $20. So I'm still waiting the lower boundary of this range to like some kind make an accumulation to make like a purchase. So I'm still waiting. Of course, it will depend on like Bitcoin. If I see like Bitcoin changing trend in like a daily, which will happen around $36,000, more likely, right? Perhaps I will try to enter like Cosmos below like $21 as a price. For AVAX, I have like a lot of demand on AVAX or like questions. It's super difficult to identify because we don't have like such a strong trend. You know, the price is a bit like oscillating and you don't have like super relevant entry points, so I will just wait. On Solana, it was way better. We had like super clear entry point on like on this like $90, $80 support, and we have like a super like strong trend, a big sell-off like on some kind of like a resistance. Now the price is a bit in the middle of nowhere, so I would wait like below $90 to try to make a new kind of like accumulation to play like a spot trade. But definitely I will still wait for Bitcoin to see how it moves. But you know, it's super good to have like some kind of like the targets, some kind of like few targets on like the altcoins you really like. These are the altcoins I mainly look at, to be honest. I do look at also a lot at Luna, but for different reasons. Well, I look at that different like altcoin too, but well, I don't have like much interest in them. I think it was super interesting because like on let me just delete that on eGold, so this altcoin. So we made like I think in the previous video some kind of a purchase, and like you know we had like a big sell-off on resistance. I think the idea is to play it simple when it comes to altcoin. Just identify support, demand zone, and like a selling zone like on a daily basis, and just try to stick to them and wait, you know, for your price to bounce on these zones. And if it's not the case, try to have like some kind of like a scenario when you exit the trade. For example, let's say Solana. So you want to make some kind of like a purchase on Solana. Let's say you want to see the price doing like that, a bit of accumulation, perhaps some like bearish attacks, and then you want to play the bounce. Okay, that would be like some kind of a trade if like Bitcoin let you do so, right? If Bitcoin still stays super bearish, you know, you have to step back and just wait for alts to go lower. But for me, another like relevant price target for Solana is like sub $50. I think would be like a super crazy entry price when you look at the price in like a daily basis. So that would be definitely like a price I would be really looking for a long-term play, perhaps. But that's difficult, you know. You cannot really put like some kind of like a stop loss, because otherwise every time you will want to enter, if you have like some kind of a bearish attack, you will exit your trade. So you need a bit of conviction, right, when it comes to trading. So that's why I would definitely be more into like having the price. So let me having the price, you know, going down. And when it goes down, it stays down, and you have like some kind of like consolidation below like some kind of like this support that is now some kind of like a resistance. And if the case, and if it stays too long, perhaps you can exit a bit of your bag, especially if Bitcoin is a bit weak, to protect your trade if like Solana keeps dropping. You know, that's always the case. You know, the market is super hard these days, so you have to be super cautious. And you know, some mistakes are really, you know, hard to get back on then, because like it costs you a lot of money. So that's the idea, you know. That's the idea, is like seeing how Bitcoin reacts like for the coming days. Definitely we are looking more towards some kind of like a horizontal move, but I hope we still have like some kind of like a bearish attack to like have a better entry price, more towards like $36,000. So yeah, that's all for the video. Play safe, you know. I think I tried to show you, you know, like some kind of like entry zones and how to be super cautious when the market is super weak, like we had since this kind of like fake breakout at the end of March.